who was in North America is Angus Duncan, and Angus spent time at the Fraser Institute.
So for my internship, I went to Vancouver in British Columbia to the Fraser Institute. The Fraser Institute, for those of you who don't know, is a non-partisan research and education organisation that produces peer-reviewed policy into critical economic and public policy issues. And up front, it is like any other libertarian think tank that I'm aware of. Although it certainly has a libertarian foundation, they are also an organisation that accepts facts. If during your research, for example, you were willing to find facts that did not support a libertarian perspective, and you could make an argument in favour of those facts, Fraser was certainly willing to publish those statistics. I think the importance that Fraser places on facts is reflected in their motto. If it matters, measure it. And I think this motto certainly rang true with me. Certainly the interpretation of facts and figures can be twisted and spin put on them, but essentially numbers do not lie. And I think this lesson that I take away from Fraser is a very powerful one. Now, although reading from my blogs, you may be actually wondering what I did in Fraser. Certainly I went out and I had a lot of fun skiing and seeing bands and things like that. But I should premise by saying that the research I did there was under a strict confidentiality agreement, and I was consistently and constantly told not to write/talk about it. I will say that my research focused on mining and drew heavily on the research outlined in Fraser's highly influential and widely published mining survey, the latest of which has just been released for the 2012-13 period, and which I think Western Australia did okay. It is exciting, however, to know that the report that I was involved in could have a positive impact for mining policy in British Columbia. Turning to my time at the Student for Liberty conference in DC, this conference was certainly an experience where I questioned a lot of my libertarian ideas. But I think the biggest thing, if I'm to nail down one thing that I took away from the conference, is that the libertarian movement in attracting young people needs to change. For too long, I think the socially, and this was made clear at the conference, for too long the socially progressive nature of the libertarian ideology has been hijacked by the left, who on the other hand want to take away my economic freedom. Whilst on the other hand, at the other end of the spectrum, those on the right have claimed to be libertarian, but then on the other hand, those on the right support taking away my personal freedom. So personally, I think that if I'm to take away something from the conference, is that the libertarian movement needs to claim back our ideals, our principles, and only once we claim back what we believe in can we then go out and sell our message. And that was something that I think was made very clear to me at the conference. And it's certainly something I would really like to work and build upon. Another instance at the conference that certainly had an impact on me was attending a session given by the National Rifle Association. The presentation was given on the American right to bear arms, and although it seems like a simple topic, I found it incredibly thought-provoking because it gave rise to what I saw as a clash of ideals, that is the freedom to carry a gun with the choice to potentially harm someone. And I should say up front that I'm completely opposed to guns, and in an audience that was overwhelmingly pro-guns, I stood up and I gave the NRA a piece of my mind. This led to a series of heated exchanges where the NRA and myself tried to outgun each other with a libertarian perspective, and I think I can gladly say that I won that shootout. But I think it was a moment where I realised the importance of debate and discussion in really allowing people to express their libertarian perspective and not just trying to quell it because it doesn't agree with libertarian philosophies. Certainly it was an opportunity that I thought where I could balance my personal views with the libertarian perspective. Finally, I'd just like to thank a few people. Firstly, I'd like to thank Mr. Ron Manners for giving me this opportunity. It's certainly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm extremely grateful for it. I'd also like to thank Andrew Pickford for his support. I'd also like to thank those from the Fraser Institute, Mr. Niels Veldhuis, Miss Alana Wilson, my supervisor, and my friend Mr. Bacchus Barua for their advice and the lessons they taught me at Fraser. Also, a thank you to the other interns for being a great source of fun and their support too. And finally, a big thank you to my friends and family here in Perth. So in a nutshell, that is what my trip has taught me. That is what I've taken away, and I really hope that I can act upon the statements that I've made here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Angus. And I must note that the blogs are on our website. They're a weekly review of what the interns got up to, and they're very worth reading.